Hello everyone and welcome back to the tutorial series in which we are infusing AI into our Power Automate desktop custom actions. And this is the tutorial which will help you create your AI powered custom actions. So that being said, let's start by first asking the question, what are Power Automate custom actions? So firstly, if you are new to Power Automate custom actions, I would highly recommend you go ahead and look at the video tutorial series on my YouTube channel. I'll also leave a link in the description section below. That being said, Power Automate custom actions are developed by the organization so that they can meet a specific need, right? You can extend the Power Automate desktop functionality by creating custom actions. And to create custom actions, you need to use the Actions SDK. Through the SDK, you can create custom modules which can then be utilized in your desktop flows. So basically, the custom actions will empower your RPA developers. However, you need to be a pro developer and understand programming language. And that is the reason why in the first tutorial, we actually looked at how you can create a basic console application in .NET using the Azure OpenAI service. So that being said, the next part would be the prerequisites. The first prerequisite is that you need to have an IDE. We already spoke about the IDE in the previous tutorial. We used Visual Studio 2022. Then you need to have a minimum .NET version of 4.7.2 or later. And then you need to have a Power Automate desktop installed on your computer, and the version of the Power Automate desktop should be 2.32 or later. And then you need to have the Actions SDK installed. So it comes as a NuGet package. That being said, the next step would be to actually code sign or sign your custom action by creating a certificate. So we'll be creating a self-signed certificate. We will be then importing it onto the computer on which the Power Automate desktop will be running. We will be signing the custom module using the certificate. We will be packaging everything into a cabinet file, that is a .cab file, and then sign the cabinet. Once you have all this thing done, you will be uploading the custom actions into your environment. You can see an option in the Power Automate Admin Center or the Power Automate, in the Power Automate Makers portal, where you can go ahead and upload your custom actions. And when the custom actions is created, you will see it in that particular portal. So finally, once the custom actions has been uploaded, you can go ahead and find your custom actions in your Power Automate desktop. So that being said, we need to cover all of this in our demo. And one article that I would highly recommend, create Power Automate for desktop custom actions using the Actions SDK. Okay, go through this article because this article provides you the much needed knowledge to create a custom action, right? I will again leave this link in the description section below. So I'm going to create a new project. And once I create a new project, I'll create a sample module, right? I'll use the sample module template out here. And then I will click on next. I'll give my project a name. So I'll give my project a name such as AI Pad, Power Automate Desktop Action. And it will be stored in this folder. So let me actually change this folder and I will say next. I don't want to create a test project. My module ID would be module 1 in this case. So I'll just say create. And at this point, what Visual Studio will do is that it will provision me a project. Is a .NET project. So, you find action1.cs. This is the main file that you will be working with. Again, I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritties of this. The reason being, if you want to learn more about it, I have a beginner's level tutorial. However, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to change the friendly name of the action out here. I'm going to name this action Azure OpenAI action. I'll give it a name. I have given it a friendly name. I'll give it a description as well. So now that I have given my Power Automate desktop action a friendly name and a description, the next step would be to go ahead and name the input arguments, right? So first I will put in prompt, and description would be please provide your prompt. The next question that I would like to ask, I'll copy this and I'll put it in here again. And what I'll do is that I'll say that it's input argument 2. That's good enough. And this time I will say maybe the Azure OpenAI key. Okay, you can go ahead and create more things out here, such as the name of your deployment, etc., etc. But let's keep it simple. You can also pass in the Azure URL. But as a pro developer, we would like to keep it simple. We'll just maybe give an option to pass in the OpenAI key out here. So please provide your OpenAI key. So that's good. So input argument 2. And then finally, I will say output, intelligent output, intelligent output. The description would be AI response. Now that we have 3 things out here, the next is the method where the real magic happens. So the real magic would happen in the execute method. And what we need to do is that we need to copy paste some things out here. We need to copy paste the code. Now, if you remember previously, we copied the code from the Azure playground, OpenAI playground. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say view code. I'm going to set this to .NET. I'm going to straight away copy this, right? And I can paste it here. However, if I paste it here, if you remember last time I got problems because I did not have the NuGet package installed. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the best practices and go step by step. I'm going to type in, I'm first going to go into the browse. I'll include the pre-release and I'll say azure.ai.openai. And if you remember, I had some problems with the latest version. I'll use the 5 beta version. Anyways, it's a beta. So maybe I'll use a previous version and I'll say install. And once I install it, I'll click on accept. In the meantime, I'm going to open a notepad and I'm going to paste this out here, right? So let me keep it like this. And let me copy the bits and pieces from here onto my code. So I'll go into the actions. First, I'll put in the namespaces that I need. Perfect. Then I'll copy the code inside the try block, right? The try block tells me, add action code here. So I'm going to add my action code here, which would be this, right? Let's keep it really, really simple. Okay, it tells me it's an async method. So what I'm going to do, I don't have an await, and understand that async methods might not work as expected. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say client dot get chat completion. Instead of getting the async, I'll use the synchronous pattern and I'll try to adjust my code, right? It looks horrible. Perfect. So now this looks good. So it's formatted. So here, my friends, you see that firstly, we need to pass in the credentials. So the credentials, I need to get it from a variable. And if you remember, we are going to pass it through Power Automate Desktop. So I'm going to say input argument 2. Perfect. So this looks good. Then secondly, I'm going to change this prompt to the one that I'm going to type in. So it's going to be input argument 1. Okay. Finally, the response that I get, right? The response that I get, I need to present it in the output. So I'm going to keep it again very, very simple out here. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to say output argument 1 is equals to the response. If you remember, we used response dot choices, and in the choices we had an array, and inside that we had message, And with the message, we had the content. So this is what I'm going to pass back. And then you can do error handling out here, but I'm not going to talk about the error handling in much details. Again, I covered this in a tutorial series. I'll share that with you. Right, so that is good. My code looks good. I can save my code, and what I can do is maybe I can build it. Right, once I build it, it tells me it succeeded. And then what I want to do. So what's next? The code is ready. That means the DLLs are ready. However, I need to go ahead and sign the DLL, right? I need to sign this particular code. So to sign the particular code, I need to go ahead and first and foremost create a certificate. So I'm going to use PowerShell out here. I'm going to run this as an admin. And I'm going to copy the code. Right now, I'm not going to type in everything. So I'm going to copy the code. So the code would look like this. It's generic code. I go ahead and give it a certificate name. And then I create a new self-signed certificate. To the self-signed certificate, I go ahead and create it with the hash algorithm of SH8 256. Once I create the certificate, I can just save the certificate in a folder. Yeah, that's what I do. And I give my certificate a top secret name. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and run this if this works. Okay, this worked and it should have created a certificate. So if I go out here, it has created a certificate known as custom action PFX of type PFX, right? So that's good. I'm going to use this and I'm going to try to import the certificate on my machine as a current user. So next to put in the password for the certificate. Now the password for the certificate is my name. I'm going to enable strong private key protection. And then I'm going to place the certificate under the trusted root authorities and I'm going to say finish. So it tells me the application importing new certificate, crypto key. I'll say okay because it's created by me and I'll say go ahead and install the certificate and the certificate has been imported. Bravo. So the certificate has been imported. That's awesome. Now I'm going to use the signing tool. The signing tool will go ahead and sign my DLL, right? That's what I'm going to do. So I need to sign the DLL. So where is the DLL? The DLL will be in the location of my solution, right? Or it should be inside a folder in my solution. So what I can do, I can say open in Explorer. I'll go into the bin and I have done it in debug. So debug.net. And here I should have my certificate module, AI pad action. That's the name. I should have given it a better name. Let me just check. So AI pad action. Okay. So this is good. I'm going to copy, right click and copy as path. Okay. I'm going to keep this path really, really handy. I'm going to go into my PowerShell for now and I'm going to paste this path. Perfect. So I'm going to use the signing tools to go ahead and sign this particular DLL file. So again, I'm not going to type in because if I type in, I'll create typos. And if I create typos, that will embarrass me. So again, this is what the command will look like. So I'm going to use the Visual Studio command prompt. I ran it as an admin. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to take this command or this line of code and paste it here. So what am I doing? I'm going ahead and first putting my PFX. Understand this, I had PFX2 out here. So I need to change this. Go back, Clavin. Referencing my PFX certificate, giving my password, and then going ahead and passing the DLL. So once this is done, this should give me a signed DLL. So I'm going to do enter. So this is code signing. And it tells me, okay, you have successfully signed it. That's awesome, 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 awesome. Next, what we are going to do, we need to go ahead and create a cap file. So to create a cap file, there is a PowerShell script out here, which actually goes ahead and helps you create the cap file. You just have to copy this, go back into a folder and just paste it into the notepad, save it and keep it, right? There's no rocket science behind it. And that is what I'm going to do. So I have created it here. So basically just save it, paste it in, save it. So to create a cab, I'm going to use again the make cab ps1 command that I'm going to use in PowerShell. Okay, so I'm going to get back to PowerShell. I'm going to paste it here. So basically what tells me, go and check the make cab. And in the make cab, go ahead and sign this custom action AI23. Okay, I'll just do a CD. I'll change the directory and I'll go into the directory out here. So this is where my make cab is there. And then I can just maybe run this command. Okay, it tells me that there is something missing. Okay, I have a quote missing. Try my luck again. Output directory. So the output directory is also missing. So I am going crazy. So I'm going to say out here. This is okay. No insert. Just type in AI, right? The third attempt. And we get a DLL. So no, we don't get a DLL, we get a cap file. Again, my head is not in its place, I guess, but here you see that we should have a cap file and the cap file has its name. So the final piece in the puzzle is to go ahead and sign the cap file and sign it with the same certificate that we have used previously. So again, I will go ahead and sign this with the signing tool, paste it in, hit enter. Perfect. So this has been signed. Now that this has been signed, we need to upload this into our Power Automate portal. So I need to go into 1 year. Maybe I need to go into my Power Automate. So I need to upload this to the cloud so that it becomes available in my Power Automate desktop. Okay. So first and foremost, I need to click on more and I need to click on discover all. Okay. And then what I need to do is I need to click on custom actions. If you see out here, I have quite a few custom actions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to browse and give it a file. That is my cap file. Go ahead and say AI action. Give it a description AI action and click on upload. So this should upload it. In the meantime, I can try to open my Power Automate desktop. I'll run this as an admin. Perfect. And I get an error. Okay. It tells me to contact the support, which I will not because I am the support for my own computer. So if you have this problem and if you have resolved it, let me know on how you have resolved it. Okay. Because if you don't know, I will tell you how. Anyway, so I was able to open my Power Automate desktop. It's signing me in. Things are slow today. Perfect. So you should go for automation in a day if you have not done it. I highly recommend that. It's a good program and Microsoft has done a good job. So what I'm going to do, I'm creating a new flow. I'll just say Power AI, something like that. So this is opening my Power Automate desktop designer canvas. Perfect. This is here. What I need to do is I need to scroll down and click on see more actions, and under the see more actions I should have AI action. So if this is signed correctly, this should add. So this has been signed, and I can see the AI action out here and I can see the Azure OpenAI action. So it's asking for a prompt, it's asking for a key. Right, so what I'm going to do is maybe I create a variable, set variable, open AI key. I'm going to set this to a value. Again, not going to share it with you guys. That's my top secret key. So I'm going to go ahead and make this key sensitive, okay? Because that's the key that I'm going to use. So I'm going to make this key sensitive. Now that I have made the key sensitive, what I can do, or the variable sensitive, or the value in the variable sensitive, let me word it correctly. I can go ahead and give it a prompt. Let's say that, the strongest currency, question mark. And here what I'm going to do, I can pass in the key and I can click on save. So let's try to run it. Okay, it tells me as I cannot be up to date. However, the strongest currency is the Kuwaiti dinar. So here, my friends, I have created a Azure OpenAI action for you. And let's try something else before we wrap this up. So what do you think I should try? Let's say lyrics for Mr. Lonely by Akon. Okay. Now, don't judge me on this question because that's what came in my mind. And that is all that I had in my mind, I guess. So let's look at it. Let's look at it. So here it is. So this is the song, okay? This is Mr. Lonely. Okay. So, you can do multiple things with this action. This is a chat completion model, but you can use the same concept and create other intelligent actions. So I hope this quick tutorial was informative. Thank you for your time. Have a great day and bye-bye.